Hey everybody, Dream Akumi here. I wanted to talk about an interesting argument that I've been seeing online in the last 6 months or so that keeps cropping up about how the tabletop gaming hobby is far too expensive. Way too expensive. If you're a new person and you want to get into this hobby, you're going to be spending out the rear. And I don't really believe that. I think that people that throw out this complaint want the most expensive games and then they just want them to be cheaper, when the alternative is you can just play cheaper games. For instance, Magic the Gathering. A lot of people were labeling this as a expensive game. It's not terribly expensive if you're running to run like tournament size decks, like high end, very powerful cards, what's popular in the current meta. Yeah, you're going to be spending you're going to be spending a ton of money trying to keep up and spend and keep going. If you want to run games in your home or with close friends, this game's dirt cheap. I hate to be so blunt, but spend $20 on like the dual decks. You get two decks. You and a friend can play. The rules are online. It's a simple game to learn. You're good to go. If you don't like the game, you're out, $20. Or if you want halvesies with a friend, you're out $10 and some change, and maybe an hour of your time. It only gets expensive when you make it expensive. I have some decks in here that only cost me like $2 or less. Next up is war games. I'm going to start off with a big one. I'm moving the camera over here. Games Workshop is a fairly expensive hobby, according to many. The problem is that Age of Sigmar is completely free. The rules are completely free. The rules for your units are completely free. You don't have to buy anything other than the miniatures. And there's an easy way to mitigate the miniatures. This is my Old Hammer army. This army is, a lot of old stuff. I think these are 1987 Chaos Warriors here. And these are converted Hero Quest figures. I bought these in a geeky yard sale. My local game store has these days set up where people just bring in product and try to sell it. And in turn, people buy it secondhand, get some cheaper stuff. I bought all of this, plus over 10 Beastmen, 5 Chaos Warriors, or 5 Chaos Knights on horse, and a chariot, and some other goodies, just a whole lot of stuff. $30. And for my $30, I have, from here forward, is a retinue of Chaos Warriors with an aspiring champion right here. Back here, these are Chaos Blood Knights, or Chaos Blood Warriors, Khorne Blood Warriors, with a champion right here. And this is all 100% official Games Workshop product. It's older, but it is Games Workshop product. And back here, which I'm going to bring to the forefront, like so, are my two sorcerers. So for $30, I bought a pretty playable force to see if I liked Warhammer Age of Sigmar. But let's say you want to try other games. There's more than just Warhammer Age of Sigmar, or you want to try other figures. I hate to say this, but I'm not such a purist when it comes to an army like this. And I have seen people say if it isn't Games Workshop product, they don't want to play against it. But I have played against people that are perfectly fine with my Demon Prince. This Demon Prince was from Reaper Miniatures. It's a Demon Minotaur. He's based. He's awful red. It's coming off as brown, but he's a dark red. He's got a lot of brass and bronze on him. And he's pretty fierce looking. He is pretty darn fierce looking. Come on, focus on me. There we go. Yeah, he's pretty darn fierce looking. This figure was $10 whole. So you don't have to spend the $30 to $40 on one pack of, or on one Demon Prince, as long as your group is totally cool with you having proxies or counts as models. And I think in a case like this, this is more than acceptable. Obviously, you won't be going to any Games Workshop tournaments with a model like this, but if you're new to the hobby, you're not going to be playing with this regardless. Now let's say there's other war games that you want to play. You know, maybe you don't want to play Warhammer because, you know, maybe you can't find cheap minis and everybody's got a stick up their rear about having to use current official Games Workshop product. In which case those people are terrible people. There's Dragon Rampant. This is an all-in-one system. It's one book. It's a fairly thin book. It's from Osprey. It's kind of hard to get the whole thing in the frame. There's a knight fighting a dragon. There's some other knights here. There might be some sort of paladin or warlord. And they're fighting a fire-breathing dragon. That's super cool. This game is an astounding $18 US, $21.50 Canada. And this has everything you need to play. Gives you the rules for fielding different units. You can field whatever miniatures you want, and they give you custom tables to add your own fluff. So, no matter what the range is, this game will work with it. Super cool, super easy, and most of all, very cheap. But let's say, you know, maybe this isn't your cup of tea. Maybe you like a skirmish game. There's Frostgrave. It's $25. You get wizards. Wizards cast spells. You have all kinds of different units. There's a ton of third-party support for this. A ton of homebrew support for this. It's a hardcover. It's $25 whole. And once again, it practically supports whatever range you want to use. There are miniatures for this, but you don't have to buy them. You're not obligated to. You save a ton of money, and here you go, for $40, you got your large scale battles, and you have your skirmishes. And this is designed for campaign play, so you have tons of stuff you can do. So there we go. We've found a ton of tabletop war games that are totally playable, that don't cost a ton of money. But what about board games? Board games, you just gotta know what kind of scale you're looking for. If you want a game with 100 miniatures that all look beautiful and it's brand spanking new, super new hotness, made by a well-known designer or super huge, you're gonna be paying a lot of money. So don't. if you're just learning, if you like tabletop games, no. This was, it's Warhammer 40K themed. It's out of print now, but when it was in print, it was $25 whole. It's a card game. You know, you get your item cards, objectives, all that fun stuff. $25. You can spend a few hours with a few friends trying to kill off some gene stealers. Once again, you've got things like Mars Attacks here, which I think this was $20 when it came out. I found this on sale. It was half off at a local bookstore. It's still brand new. Multiplayer, very minimalist. You can find out if you really like to play tabletop games. $20. And back to the second-hand option. This is Munchkin Deluxe. I think this is like $35 out the gate, which is still cheaper than the $100 boxes that are out there. I found this at a Goodwill for $4 whole. And the cards hadn't even been cut out yet. Like they hadn't been torn out of their package. So super cheap. And lastly, role-playing games. Pardon me again. D&D, 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons is $150 for all 3 books. Which is a fair bit of scratch. But you don't have to spend $150. For $20, here's the Dark Eye. This is everything you need to play. It's pretty thick. You got 414 pages. It's current. It's out now. You can buy it in stores. This is the pocket edition. They also have a full-sized hardcover that's $60, I think. 50 or 60. Maybe $20 is too much. Here's Savage Worlds. $10. Still out today. Still supported. Plenty of third-party support for it. Yeah, brand new. This is $9.99. Okay, maybe $9.99 is too much. There's White Box. Fantastic medieval adventure game. This is a Swords and Wizardry kind of clone. Complete rule system. 1 book. Super useful. Has a really cool looking character sheet. I think it's one of my favorites just because of how it looks. I can find it real quick. There it is. Yeah, there's a character sheet. Really cool looking character sheet. Anyway, whole thing. 140 pages of fun. There's a character sheet on the back too. 140 pages of fun. You can buy this for a whole $8 on Amazon. Classes, multiple races, you know, all the standby tropes. This can play old school D&D adventures and newer D&D adventures. $15, or not $15, $8. $8 whole. Maybe $8 is too expensive. This is the cheapest physical book game you're going to be able to find that's good. Basic Fantasy. This is made by Chris Gunnerman. He even signed my copy, so might have some bias there. But I don't think I've found anything at the $5 mark. $5. Monsters, treasure, characters, races, spells. You know, everything you could need to play a role-playing game. $5 if you have Amazon Prime, free shipping. Now, once you get below this point, you're not going to get physical books, not unless you're real lucky or you buy them secondhand. These options for role-playing games were all brand new. So you know, for the cost of one D&D book, one, you know, like the Player's Handbook for 5th edition, you've got White Box, Savage Worlds, Dark Eye, and Basic Fantasy. So that's 4 RPG systems before you get one of the 3 core rule books for D&D. So I don't see why there's such a complaint about RPGs costing too much. Now, if you don't care about physical books, both Pathfinder and the 5th edition D&D have SRDs, source reference documents, that are completely free and completely legal for you to use, free of charge. So, yeah. I don't know where this myth came from that role-playing games cost too much, or war games cost too much, or board games cost too much. Because the reality of it is that for a beginning player, you don't need to spend that much money. You just get a little thrifty, find something that you like, that fits what you're comfortable with to start with, then build from there. You're not going to get a 500-piece army for $10. You never will. It doesn't happen. You're not going to walk away with a tournament-winning deck from Magic the Gathering for $5 unless you're insanely lucky. The point is that this is affordable to get into and to play, and if you like it, you can go one step beyond and play even further. Well, I'm going to sign out. You all take care.